And what's up? It's the Vice City Mafia podcast. We coming at you again with another one, and this time we're bringing something new to the table.
Who are we?
Our name is Cross-Eyed, and we got our main man here, the man of the hour, Major Minor in the building.
What's
I
up?
like how you did that. Who are we? And who are we?
It could be an existential question, but who are we even?
Who are we? We are some of the greatest men in Miami. That's facts. I had a question I wanted to ask you. All right.
What's up?
So, just like a recall. So, like, success versus relationships, and would you sacrifice your success for your relationship, or would you sacrifice your relationship for your success?
You know, that's an interesting question. I don't think a man is truly successful without a strong relationship. So I think that's difficult, right? So I think that a real man finds balance for both, right? So any man that has there's health, wealth, and family, right? And so if you're not actively building all three, then you're always gonna feel like you're lacking something, right? You can't have wealth without your health, because what are you gonna do with it if you're on the brink of death, right? Can't enjoy it, not how I wanna enjoy money, right? Like, what's the point of being on a yacht if you're 500 pounds? You know what I mean? Don't want that, right? And then what is it being on a yacht if you have to pay the people to be there, right? You ain't got no family, you ain't got no real people around you. So I think it's like the Holy Triumvirate, you need all three, like the God, Spirit, and Holy Ghost, right? You need all three to be successful in my mind. Now, do some have to take a back seat while you're building the others? Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think the first pillar that you have to have a foundation of is morals, right? Of what you're gonna do to get to where you wanna go. And then from there, your relationship can either add to or take away from the other two, right? So if you are building wealth and you do not have a supportive partner, right, then you're never gonna get all three. So sometimes your partner has to understand that they need to take a back seat in order for you to build the other two, for you to maintain your health, because you can't be no stressed out person, right?
I do like how you looked at the question in a different perspective than I looked at it, you know, because I saw this question on the internet somewhere.
Right.
And I like how you looked at it in the analogy of friendship as well.
Yeah.
You know, because I completely missed that concept of it.
Relationships are everything.
Yeah. And in that aspect, I'll change my original idea.
I should have let you go first.
Which is saying, like, I was gonna say, you know, fuck these bitches, get their money. But, you know, in the aspect of friendship, you know, you open my eyes to something like, I wouldn't want to lose the bond me and you have, or the bond on the other pod I have, or the bond I've built, like, with people over success. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't sacrifice my pack for my success.
If you want to go quickly, go by yourself. If you want to go far, you need a team. You know what I mean? And so, like, and that's where the phrase "your network is your net worth." Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, what's crazy is you always hear the quote, right? Like, the 5 people that you hang around are going to, like, you know, be indicative of your future, right?
Yeah.
But what they don't tell you is one of those friends ends up being more financially secure than the other one. So you all can earn the same money, right? But it's the habits that you instill that determine how you live, right? So it's like all of you guys could earn $1 million a year, but there's some people that are gonna spend that meal every last penny they have. Yeah. And there's some that are gonna build a future, that are gonna build a business, that aren't just gonna be income earners, right? That they're gonna build something greater than themselves, right? So I think that's an important distinction to have. And I think that some of the things that keep you grounded are your relationships, right? So I think it's your relationship with your family, because if you're not searching for validation outside of self, right, then you can hold on to money, right? Because you're not trying to buy your way out of sadness. You're not trying to buy your way into some bitch's pants. You're not trying to buy your way into a cool friend group, right? Because you already have that. You already have that foundation.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and you know, I always like I like Andrew Tate's story. You know, he gets a lot of backlash because of his ideology or whatever. But you know, besides the person, but like, I'm a fan of Andrew Tate. But besides him, what him and his brother did is pretty amazing. Because while his brother was selling windows, he was becoming a kickboxing world champion,
Right.
but he wasn't making a lot of bread. He
Right.
was making fucking shit, right? And dude, they're living like from hotel to hotel, eating KFC, like living broke.
Yeah.
And Andrew Tate was gonna quit his job, right, and sell windows like his brother, because his brother was bringing in like $1,000 a week. And bro, his brother looked at him and he's like, no, you help us get out of this. I'll make this money and you find another way for us to make some real money.
But that's
You know
what I'm saying. So you can't sacrifice success for relationships because one leads into the other, the
Yeah.
right ones, right? Now, you need to cut off the wrong ones, right? And so I think that's where the distinction needs to be made, because anybody that says like, oh, I did this on my own, I ain't need no help, it sounds good in a rap lyric, but it's never true, right? You always need a team. And it's just important the people that you surround yourself with, because they can either be adding to you or taking away from you. There is no middle ground. Because if a motherfucker's not helping you get forward, then they are taking away from you by nature.
Yeah, especially with all these rappers, because rappers definitely need people. You know what I'm saying? They need the record label. They need the promo. So even if they're solo, like all these rappers are saying, oh, they're not signed and they're independent, but bro, you still have the distributor you need. You still have the engineer you're gonna need. Like, you can't do it all by yourself. Like, I've tried. Like, I remember when I still make music, but like when I was dropping music consistently, I was just cutting people out like hotcakes. I was learning what they did. I'll watch them, watch every single thing they did, ask them a few questions. They'll give me the knowledge I need, and I'll be like, all right, I don't need you no more. Now that I'm gonna engineer myself.
There's not enough time in the day, bro. You know what I mean? And so, like, a real boss knows how to delegate work, right?
Yeah.
And to give jobs to the people around them. And so, like, even like with the female that is in your household, right? You need that person to be providing emotional stability, because you might be running on a red line all the time because of the stress from trying to make that money, from the stress of trying to have your health together, right? And all the toll that may take on you. And if you have the right partner, they're gonna be adding to that situation, bro. You know what I mean? And they have to understand their role. And it is your job as a leader to let them know their role. You know what I mean? And to appreciate them in their role. Because the best way to get somebody to do what you want is to congratulate them for their behavior. People respond better to positive reinforcement than negative reinforcement. So you can't come in and say, you never helped me. It's the second they help you or the second they respond in the way you want to, you congratulate them. I love when you do that. Oh man, that made me feel amazing, right? And when you do that, they feel validated in their position. It lets them know that their job and their effort is not going unnoticed. And they feel part of a team, right? It's like being a good coach, bro. Like, you have to be able to like let somebody know when they are fucking up, but not by pointing it out directly, right? You talk about what it would look like. Even with my kid, this is a perfect example, is that instead of scolding him when he does something wrong, I show him what the right answer is gonna be, right? Same thing with your relationship, right?
Yeah, the mirroring thing that you were talking about last pod.
Bro, so it's just like, you can't be like, oh man, like, oh, fuck you for not doing this. It's just like, yo, when I'm in this type of situation, when I'm stressed, what I need from you, and just say it point blank. But too many people are afraid of saying what they actually need for fear of seeming weak, but it is weaker to be passive aggressive. You know what I mean? Be a man and stand up for what the fuck you believe in and say what you want and where you're going. And those that don't believe or aren't behind you, bro, cut them. You know what I mean? And that's the relationships you don't need. But the ones that do believe in you and the ones that are helping you get there, appreciate them. That's the other part people forget, right? People take it for granted when they start getting a little motion, right? And people are on their team, they stop appreciating them. And that's where you get envy. And that's where you get people backstabbing you. And that's where you get the hate and the envy. And people are like, oh, they hate me because of my success. No.
Yeah.
They hate you because you're not appreciating them.
Especially something. Yeah. Not to switch topics a little bit right now, but just.
But to switch topics.
Yeah, but to switch topics, because it kind of goes off of what you're saying, the envy and the hate. Like, right now, something I'm dealing with in my place of work is I get these people, they come up to me and they're like, oh, he said, because I'm a manager of a strip club. So some guy came up to me, gossiping. Hate gossipers, bro. Yeah. I hate them, bro. And sometimes sometimes we listen to them because we want to know the tea. You know what I'm saying? Subconsciously. But Bro, so this guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, the other manager said he's not doing what you're saying because it's his shift. And you know, bro, at that point, I already knew what homie was trying to do, which was ruin my relationship with the other manager, because the other manager brought me in and then put me at a high standard, and I put him in his position, and he did me right. And I knew what this employee was trying to do, and I just looked at him dead in his face, and I was just like, he could do whatever he wants on his fucking shift, dude. Yeah. But on my shift, you're gonna do this, dude. Yeah. On his shift, you're gonna do what he said.
Yeah, because he thinks that if he can shift the blame, then it's gonna get it off of him.
Yeah. To try to ruin the relationship, to try to get, you know, to
divide
get
and conquer.
Get shit disorganized. I hate when people do that.
Yeah,
shit, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like this though, bro. Knowing how to sidestep those situations and not play into it is a sign of true emotional maturity, right? It's a sign that you are going somewhere, that you are going to be a success, right? So it's just like, and it doesn't pay off immediately, right? Because sometimes it feels good to gossip, and sometimes it feels good to get caught up in the bullshit, right? But in the long term, there is no free lunch, bro. Like, for every action, there's an equal and opposite one, bro. Whether you see it now or you see it 10 years down the road, it's like, I don't believe in karma as a like boomerang spiritual concept, but I do believe that karma is just a series of habits that eventually catches up to you, whether it be good habits or bad ones, right? So it's just like, if you act fucked up enough to enough people, you're gonna burn all the bridges you have, bro, eventually. And you might succeed for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, but eventually some shit's gonna come crumbling down.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you're being a snake throughout your whole life, eventually it's gonna knock away your opportunity.
Yes, bro. And it might be the biggest opportunity you have, right? So, and the thing with building character, bro, is that you can't, like, trust in a relationship. Once it is broken, it is almost impossible to rebuild. You know what I mean? Even at the greatest efforts of both people. So it's like, be careful with your words, right? Be direct with your words, but speak with intention. Speak with purpose, right? Because too many people get caught up in speaking just to be heard and not speaking to say what they need. Right?
Yeah.
So people want to speak to be liked or speak to be approved or speak just to fill up space. All right? And I was like, nigga, stop talking and do. You know what I mean? And let the doing speak for itself and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's usually when people start yapping. The loudest one in the room is always the stupid one. Yeah, everyone knows that saying. You know what I'm saying?
Because if you're a real mover, you don't have time to sit there and try to convince people. Because you don't need to convince people if you're really doing it, bro. Bill Gates don't got to convince nobody he's rich. You know what I mean? Elon Musk don't got to convince nobody he's a genius. Yeah, you know what I mean? The work speaks for itself. Yeah. You know what I mean? That is the loudest you can be.
Elon Musk is super fucking rich. Did you see what he tweeted the other day?
What?
All right, so he posted some post trolling, you know, because they have the elections coming up, and he's like trolling Kamala. Yeah. And then Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, I believe, and he puts, "Oh, this shouldn't be posted. I promise in a week I'm gonna sign a bill to make this illegal," right? Like it was like a parody. Right, and it was making fun of her. And then he puts, "I just spoke to the secretary of what is it? These nuts," right? Or Sagan these nuts. Yeah. Sagan these nuts. Yeah. And he put that. And he said parody content is legal in America. And he could do that to the governor because he got so much money to just talk shit, you know.
But also, he owns the platform.
Yeah.
So, like, all the power that Gavin Newsom thinks he has, Elon Musk has more. Yeah. Because he owns the company that dictates the free speech, bro. If like Twitter is more powerful than the governor of California, hands down, bro.
Oh yeah.
He reaches like millions of people in the blink of an eye because he bought the company for billions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like. Everybody
got money, dude.
Everybody likes to have this illusion of power, but all it takes is one motherfucker to really put you in that place, right? And so, like, the best thing that you can do is to recognize where you're at, and if you want that level of power, don't speak out of your ass. Get there, for real. And it might take, you have to eat shit. You know what I mean? It might take 5, 10 years for you to be able to speak your mind how you want to speak it, but don't speak out of turn, right? You know what I mean? Don't fight an enemy unless you can completely defeat them.
Yeah, that
48 laws.
And the 48 laws, bro. Know when to wave the flag so you can recover. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. You know, it's best to conceal your intentions in some states, in some circumstances. Like I prefer, like especially in the work spot, not to talk too much, like in order to achieve my success. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, back to the question I gave you, like sacrificing your success for your relationship. You know, I feel like you could only really end up in that. You could keep both, as long as you learn to use your words wisely. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that you could say while trying to chase success that will affect your relationship at home or with your friends. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. It's all an intention, right?
Yeah.
So if you are able to make your like idea known and back it up with action, then the ones that love you and believe in you will fall in line. It's just when we all like, just like we have our body, right, can feel when something's wrong and alerts us to it, right? Like you twist your ankle, your body's like, hey, walk lightly on that shit, right? A female can feel in her emotional body when something's not adding up, right? And that's where dudes fuck up, right? They try to be somebody that they're not, and then the girl doesn't know what they don't like about them, but she's like, something's off, right? But when you can be authentically you, right? Their emotional body responds to that, right? And becomes open and listens to direction, right? But it's when you are fucking faking the funk that they read it. And even if they can't pinpoint it, they become unattracted, right?
Yeah.
So the realest shit you can do, because everybody, all these relationship gurus out here like, oh, tell her this and neg this. It's like, bro, be a real nigga, get some money, bro, and be about what you say you're about, and everything will fall in line anyways, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so the question I gave you was from the internet, and I don't think you will ever have to make that choice as long as you stay true to yourself and aren't saying things to sacrifice. Like, you could only put yourself in those predicaments. Like, where you could say something to sacrifice your relationships for your success, or you could sacrifice your success for your relationship. You know what I'm saying? And like, you could go to your job and tell your boss, I can't, my girl's sick. All right. Now you're sacrificing your success for your relationship. You know what I'm saying? When your boss don't need to know all that shit. You know what I mean? Or same thing, vice versa. You could look at your girl and be like, you could start talking shit, right? Or like you could look at your girl and be like, no, I gotta go to work. I'm gonna pick a double, and you could sacrifice it that way. But you know, it's done babbling. But
no, it's framing, bro. It's all how the perspective in which you put it in, right?
Exactly.
So even if you're late for something, right, and you say, yo, I really appreciate you like making the time for me. I had this going on, you know what I mean? But now that I'm here, you got all my attention.
Exactly.
Or if you come up here like, yo, please, I'm so sorry, like saying some bullshit that they don't care about. Like, my dog was sick. Nobody gives a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just be real and say what you mean.
And thankfully, on this podcast, you guys hear me yap a lot, but outside of this podcast,
that's what they hear
I'm
for.
Actually a man of few words.
Yeah.
That's why I don't speak so articulated and explain myself correctly, but because I'm a man of few words, because I know my strong points and I know where I'm not strong. So usually when I'm like running late or I can't make it to work, I'll be like, yo, I can't make it to work today. I got something happening.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. What's happening? Some personal shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, if my girl's like, oh, what's wrong? I don't stress her out with my stress. So I'll be like, don't worry about it. It's not your fault, dude. You're helping me out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're helping me a lot. You're doing a lot for me. Thank you.
And then if it comes the time to where you need advice or help, you know, you ask the right people. Yeah. Because so many people are in love with victimhood. So many people are in love with getting sympathy for shit that really nobody else gives a fuck about. So what you sound like is just a babbling buffoon, right? And you sound like you're complaining because you never know who you're speaking to or who may have it worse. And there's people dealing with way more that still get it done, right? So those that complain all the time, bro, I just look at it like, yo, it's so easy to be a savage in this current time, bro.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is put your head down and get it done. And when a problem does arise, ask the key people that can get you past the situation. But as far as just voicing like, oh man, this day is dragging on, or oh man, I'm so tired because of this, who cares?
Yeah, no one cares. Your girl don't even care.
Really?
Only you care about your own problems.
Bro,
dude.
because everybody has their own problems.
You give your problems to God, dude.
Yeah,
It's easier.
It's so much better, bro. I actually just started praying with my son, bro,
Yeah.
and I taught him about talking to God.
Oh, that's
You know what I mean?
that's fire.
Dog,
That's fire.
It's actually, and so we did it. First night, held hands, right? And I let it, and then he's like, Daddy, I want to talk to God. And he's like, God, I want a toy, and take care of my family. And I was like, all right, bro, I love that you want to talk to God, you know what I mean? But God is not a genie, right? God doesn't just grant wishes. And we went to sleep. So then, boom, next day passes, turns into nighttime. We're about to go to sleep. I don't even think about it. He's like, Daddy, can we talk to God? I'm like, of course. And he said, before we prayed, he was like, Daddy, why is God not a genie? And I said, my son's 3, by the way, right? And I said, damn, like, why is God not a genie? And it made me really think. And I took a second, and I was like, you know what, Rev, God's not a genie because sometimes God knows what's good for us more so than we do. You know what I mean? He knows better than we do. So we just give it up to him and let him handle the rest. And he said, okay. And we went on and prayed, bro. It was one of literally like the most gratifying moments of my life, right? Because like the beautiful stage about a child's mind is that it's so pure, bro. You know what I mean? And they don't just take anything for pure fact. They got to know the reason behind it.
It's good you told them that. A lot of adults don't even know God's not a genie.
But bro, like it, and we have to remind ourselves, right? Because I would never ask myself that question until I got asked it by my little self, right? So it's like, bro, it's those moments that really make you reflect on like, why do we have the habits that we do and what's really important in this world? Why do we give it up to God, right? And so you need to remember that as long as you're doing the work and you have a moral foundation, it will work out. You know what I mean? But too many people are short-sighted or start complaining and getting that complaint train, bro. That's the devil's work. You know what I mean? Where you feel like it's too much to handle, bro. If you zoom out far enough, you can't see the world, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like you have to keep things in perspective. And the little shit that you complain about, bro, your brain becomes a complaint train, right? And it's straight to fucking hell. You can create that hell on earth. Most niggas are living in a nightmare day in and day out because that's all they see, because that's all they choose to. You know what I mean? It's like America can be a beautiful place or it can be a place of complete despair if you're looking at lack. But if you're living in abundance for real, and not in no hokey way, in the way that like whatever, like this didn't age well, but there's this video of Diddy, right? Where he's in his office and he slams the phone down and he's like, whatever I want, I get. Whatever I want, I fucking get. And bro, that can be true. That can be your truth if you allow it to be.
You know what the thing is, dude? I always say, you know what the thing is, but a lot of people, they like I meet a lot of people, you know, that successful, not successful in the business I'm in, and a lot of people want to say they manifest things. I don't believe in manifesting. Okay. You know, I believe in giving to God and praying to God and getting what is rightfully deserving to me, what I was made for.
That's manifesting, but okay.
You know, yeah, same shit, but it's God. Manifesting is for the godless.
I don't think so.
I think the term is maybe might not be a negative, but
which one?
You know what I'm saying? One. I think yours. Oh. But like, I think the term. Besides the point, you know what I'm saying? Right. But like, I see so many people that say like, I'm gonna get it, and they don't do nothing to get it though.
But that's not.
You're not doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking to yourself. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, that's not manifesting. If you're talking to yourself every day saying, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be rich. If you have no plan on how you're going to get rich, there's no way it works. You know what I'm saying? I mean, occasionally you get the hook to a girl,
but look.
You know what I mean?
The rich people and broke people have the same goals, right? To be wealthy.
That's true.
But the difference is, what are you doing about it? Right? How are you measuring if you're getting to that goal? So like, you could both be saying, I want to get rich, but it's like, are you cultivating the relationships necessary?
Setting goals for yourself.
Are you putting the time in and day out? Are the inputs matching your desired outputs, right? And a lot of times it's way more work than you initially think it is. And that's where the broke stay fucked up, because if they spent all that time that they put in and all that effort into complaining, into finding out what the right actions are, they would be wealthy, right? But for some people, it's easier to stay broke. It's less painful for them to stay broke and complain about it than it is, and just imagine that everybody that's doing something real is fucked up in some way. Oh, it's the Illuminati. Oh, it's this, that. Nigga, there's people that have come from worse that are doing better. So the only thing you're doing is allowing the devil in your heart and destruction in your life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, you got to get right with God, set goals for yourself, and actually chase and gain ambition towards your dreams.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to get success, bro.
And the thing is, bro,
and consistency. Consistency is the number one key, like work ethic wise.
Motherfuckers are so set on trying to be happy, bro. And it's like, let me tell you, bro, I'm genuinely a happy person, like day in and day out, right? It's how I was wired, fortunately, right? But I've never chased it because I realized that in the end is futile, right? I said, fuck happiness, because sometimes the grind to success is joyless. It's the boring shit, bro. It's the day in and day out where you're not rewarded. And then happiness is a byproduct of you feeling fulfilled.
Yeah, I feel happiest when I'm chasing my dream. Like when I'm sitting there editing these pods, when I'm sitting there fucking going in, when I'm starting something, that's when I feel at my best. You know what I'm saying? And it's always someone that fucking comes up to me to ruin my mood. But, you know, other than that, as long as I'm with the right people, I'm pretty much fine.
Yeah, but even the ruining of the mood, that's a choice, bro.
Yeah, it's a choice.
It's a choice because...
I mean, it's a hard shake for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I choose to ignore certain things that bother me, but it is a choice to decide to dwell on certain things.
No, but it's your reaction always, bro, because, like, look, like, you can have, like, what's the worst thing that you can think happening to you?
Going broke and going homeless.
Okay. I've been there. Still alive.
That's true.
Right? Like, anything that happens, bro, like, even death. It's like, okay, like it's your reaction to it, right? So it's like, I lost my mom, right? And it fucked me up. And yes, loss is painful, but how you let it affect you is deeper than any action of itself, right? It's how you label it, right? So after I stopped throwing the pity party for myself and started using it as a motivation to better myself, right? And I started hearing her congratulate me as I got it steps forward towards my goals, or I stopped using it as an excuse to not have good relationships or to be angry or to whatever, bro. That was really dirtying my mom's image in my mind because I was using it as an excuse for negativity, bro. And it's all just the same exact situation, just how I viewed it and how I spoke about it, right? Because everybody is searching for this easy way out, bro. But the thing is, you don't deserve a fucking shortcut, bro. You know what I mean? There's no such thing. So do the work and if you want to be happy, then be happy along the way, bro. Or say fuck happiness and just go get it. And understand that happiness is fleeting, just like sadness is fleeting, and the emotions aren't there, so search for fulfillment. And you can find ultimate fulfillment in your connection with God, your connection with people, getting some money, and having your health intact, bro.
And with that, we out.
B-C-M.